Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we are talking about how to stay connected to your feminine in a very masculine world. It is no secret that this world has been built for the masculine to thrive and the feminine to be suppressed. And so, how am I embodying and expressing this feminine energy? How am I finding that connection and using it to move in a masculine world in a very feminine way? And this is a journey that I'm so excited to be on. It feels like it's a lifelong journey, and I'm just starting down this path, but I'm going to share with you guys some things that I do to help embody my feminine, to help feel that connection of all that I am and let it be expressed rather than suppressed. The number one thing that I do that helps me embody and connect to my feminine energy is tracking my cycle. For so long, I did not know what was going on in my body, and I did not even know how to support my body in a way that was actually working for it. I had the mindset that I was supposed to be working out every day, and I was supposed to be doing the hardest workout I could do every single day, and I had to be in grind mode, and maybe that works for some people, but it's not how women's bodies naturally move. It's not how women's bodies naturally operate. We don't operate on a day-to-day cycle. We operate on 28, typically more or even a little bit less day cycle. We are with the moon. We take a month to move through this cycle. And so the phases that men go through in a day, like the sun, it takes women a month to go through. And I don't know how I went so long not knowing what was going on in my body, but as I began to track my cycle, I feel like the veil was lifted and I just realized how much depth there is to being a woman and how powerful being a woman can feel. So, as I started to track my cycle, I started with some apps and I still just didn't feel like I was getting the depth that I needed. It was telling me when I was going to ovulate, when I was going to have my period, and even then, it still wasn't accurate. And I realized I was relying on something digital to tell me what was happening within myself, which it has been helpful in some ways, but I didn't feel like I had that connection to self. I wasn't listening to my body. I was looking outside of my body. I was looking at an app saying, okay, what does the app tell me about my body? And when I decided to take cycle syncing into my own hands, I felt like I didn't have really anything to support and track my cycle in a way that was centered around listening to my body. So I created a 3-month menstrual cycle journal, and it has tons of information in it. And this is information that I used, that I had collected throughout my cycle syncing journey, and information that has been extremely helpful to me. So I created this journal and I use this journal myself. I find it to be incredibly helpful because I also have affirmations, I have journal prompts in here, and it's been so helpful to actually honor the energy of every cycle. So not only have I learned how to eat and how to move with my cycle, how to schedule around my cycle and work with my body, but I also created a space where I can track what is happening and I can notice patterns. So this is 3 months long and I'm only a month in, and it's already been incredibly helpful because I can notice, yeah, I do tend to feel this way at this time, and I can write it in here. And now, as I'm going into my second cycle with this journal, I can kind of reflect and know what I might experience. As I have tracked my cycle, I have been able to embody the energy of each phase and work with the energy of each phase. It has totally ripped away any guilt about resting or not producing enough. And it has opened my world to a space of just being and listening to my intuition and listening to my body. And that in itself produces so much more than actual doing can produce. When we're so busy doing with force, with what we think we should be doing, the product of that doing is not true. Our heart is not in it. It's just an empty product. But when we are creating from a space of being and this creation is just naturally happening, it feels so expansive and it feels so beautiful and just so right. And it's so much more than what we could externally produce. Allowing myself to rest and listening to my body and matching my natural energy day to day has created so much trust within myself and so much confidence. I feel so connected to myself, and I have felt my confidence skyrocket because I'm not questioning myself. I'm not letting myself spiral because I feel crazy or I'm hormonal. I know exactly where I'm at in my cycle. I know how to support my body. And I know that when I'm showing up, the energy that I'm showing up with is justified. How I'm feeling is valid enough. And that's something that cycle thinking has taught me. One of my favorite affirmations I have in this entire journal is naturally around the ovulation phase, because that is our most magnetic and expressive time. And this affirmation says, I embrace my wild feminine essence, untamed, intuitive, and deeply connected to the rhythms of the earth. And I just love that so much. It feels so freeing. I feel the cage around my heart just open because it opens the doors to not be perfect. It allows us women to be wild, to be free, to be expressive, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Which brings me to the second thing that I love to do to embrace my feminine energy, and that is dance. And sometimes when I'm dancing, it is beautiful and soft and slow, and sometimes it feels like an expression of rage. If anything's been bottled up or anything I've held on to, or maybe my hormones are plummeting and I am just going through that big emotional change. Sometimes it's more angry looking, sometimes it's more sensual. Whatever it is, dancing has gotten me so in touch with my intuition because it turns my brain off. It brings me out of the mind and into the body. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do next. I just allow myself to move with whatever feels right. It doesn't have to look good. I'm not here to be a professional dancer. I am simply expressing my most ancient form. Like, if that even makes sense, I'm expressing something that is so deeply rooted. I'm expressing all that I've known in every life. When I'm dancing, I feel like I have tribes behind me. If past lives are a thing, which I think they are, I definitely was a part of some tribe, like tribal music. I just feel very, very connected to the tribe essence. And when I'm dancing, it feels like my ancestors are dancing with me. They're behind me and they're just supporting this expression. It feels big and beautiful, and I feel radiant and I feel confident, and I learn to trust my body. Dancing has been such a fun and intuitive way to get back into my body and to learn to trust her, to let her take up space and move fully based on what feels right and what feels good. And the product of that is confidence and strength and stability. When I'm showing up in life, I feel so centered and I feel so grounded because I've spent time moving and learning the capability of my body and learning to trust my intuition. It's about connecting all that we are, and I think dancing is a beautiful way to do that. The next thing that I love to do is make anything feel like a ritual. Any form of self care, I'm doing it in a ritual form. I'm lighting a candle, maybe I'm burning some Palo Santo, maybe I'm drinking cacao, writing down my intention, and just sitting with that and letting myself experience and feel everything in that moment. I've been doing this Ayurvedic practice called Abhyanga, and it is a self massage. And this has been such a beautiful way to express the feminine and to again deepen that connection with my body and all that's happening in my body. And it's, you use oil and you start at the top of your head and you just work your way down, massaging, and the connection of genuinely using your hands to physically care for your body and show love to your body. And there's so many times where I stop with my heart, hands over my heart, saying a mantra, saying whatever comes to my heart, using that voice that I have to honor my truth that is coming alive from my heart space. And even the same thing, I'll hold my hands over my womb. And if there's a mantra or something that feels alive in that space, I will voice it. I will use my physical voice to voice what I feel in my reproductive system, what I feel happening in my most intuitive place, my womb and my heart, and listening to those and creating space for those while caring for my body and honoring my body has been such a beautiful experience. And it's really deepened my connection to that feminine essence. The next thing is you need women. Women need women, just like men need men. And, of course, women need men. There's time and a place for it all. And having your women friends, having those girls that you can sit down and talk about the nitty gritty with, having those people that you can connect with and that you can talk about these things with. I have someone in my life who, every time I sit down with her, it is the most divine and the most beautiful conversations and connections that I could have. We talk about what it means to be a mother, even if you don't have a child. How can you express that mother essence, that divine, beautiful, feminine essence? We have so many beautiful conversations, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think this community and this tribe of women honoring what it really means to be women in a space where we're not competing, we're simply connecting is so important. And if you don't have this in your life, I will link my one-on-one sessions below. I'm also hosting yoga and women's groups coming up to talk about the cycle, to just have this space where the feminine energy can be totally alive, expressed, and honored and loved without judgment and without any competition. So if you want to connect, feel free to check out the links below. And I hope this has been helpful. I hope you can use these tools in your own life to awaken and connect with that beautiful feminine energy you have within.